we are back again with another episode of Another 24, and I have a very special guest in the building. Now, this guest, y'all probably seen her on the big screen, small screen. Y'all done seen her all over.
The screens.
It's all the screens. I have the one, the only Angelique Valentine in the building. How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. You know, can't complain. Trying to get like you, get on these big screens.
Oh,
you know
stop it. Stop it.
So, for those that don't know, you are a thespian actress.
A thespian. Wow, yes. Yeah, very prestigious.
Very prestigious.
Thespian.
Very prestigious. So, that is an industry. It's the entertainment industry, obviously.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's, you know, kind of has its ups and downs, and, you know, it's sounded like a pipe dream for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But for you, it's a reality. So,
it is becoming, yes, more and more of a reality.
Right.
Yeah.
So, how did you get into acting? Like, why acting? What made you go that route?
Well, it's crazy because, like, when I first started acting, it was, you know, it was years ago, maybe like, well, let's start here. When I was very young, my mom took me to my first audition. Okay. I was maybe like 10. Oh, wow. And we practiced like my lines like over and over and over and over again. I get in front of the casting or whatever, and I literally forget every single thing. Like, my mom literally just stood there and like acted like we didn't ever go over it ever. And all the directors and producers were like, okay, well, she's not for the part. And even they gave me so much time and I still like couldn't remember. I just was like so like nervous. And I think being younger, I was just nervous as a, you know.
Yeah, your kid's your first time probably.
Yeah, my first time. So ever since then, I like didn't do acting at all. Like, I was like terrified.
Terrified.
Yeah.
Scarred you for life. Right?
Scarred me for life. Like, so, but then when I got into high school, I was like, I went to a predominantly white school. Okay. And I auditioned for all the plays and everything. Finally got my confidence back, and then I didn't, they never booked me for anything.
Yeah. Fuck y'all, man.
Right. We hate them. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was a great school, but I think it was just like, you know, sometimes when, you know, it doesn't really match the play or role that they're going for. So, so after college, I just was like, let me just try it again for the third time. Third time's a charm. And, yeah, and I just wanted to try because I always liked it. It just never worked out for me the way that but I still just wanted something inside me said I like still want to do it. So I just tried it, and then I got an agent, and time went by, and I think now the reason why I want to do it, I just really want to be just like a voice for people. That's it. I just want like people to see their stories in me.
Exactly.
You know,
because you represent a lot of people.
Yeah.
You represent a lot of people when you're on that camera.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with both of us. You know, it's like it's a lot of black men my age that want to do this that might not have the outlet. And it's like, you know what, I got y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm showing that you can do it, and you're doing the same thing.
Exactly.
So what was it like when you booked your first role? Like, can you walk me through how you felt? Like, were you excited? Were you nervous? Like, what was going through your mind?
Yeah, I think I booked like smaller things before Acrimony. Acrimony was the biggest, you know, my biggest first booking. And before then, it was always like, it felt like the smaller roles or the smaller projects, I would say, it's like, I was always excited. Like, any opportunity was like, oh, I'm going to be a star, whatever. But when I did Acrimony, when I booked Acrimony, see, I was going on so many auditions, and I wasn't really booking anything that my agent would send me on, which would be like big motion picture or big like, you know, TV shows and things like that. I wasn't really booking any of it. So I kind of got used to not booking anything.
Right. You gotta have thick skin.
Yeah. I was just like, well, you know, I used to feel away, and then, but then, so when I did Acrimony, I went in for, I just went in like a regular audition, and I walked in the room, and it was like a bunch of girls who looked just like me.
Really?
Yeah, and that was the first time I'd experienced that, because normally you don't really see that many people when you like. Well, we don't do it in person anymore, but when we did, you didn't really see people. Like, you had your appointment time, and then I think they were doing like a rush casting. So like all the girls were sitting in the room together. We all like looked alike. So I was like,
Wasn't that weird?
So weird. It was so weird. I was like, okay, well, I guess they definitely have a type. So, but I went in. I did my thing. I listened to like my Beyonce before I went in, get hyped up, you know, like I normally do. And then I went in and I just did the audition. Raven Drummer, who's like an amazing casting director. She's an amazing person. I love her as a person. And I just did. She gave me a few notes, and I just like took her notes and I did it. And then I just like went home. I think I like went home. like that weekend, I like partied. I forgot all about it. And like 2 weeks later, I get a call from my agent, and it was like, you booked it? You booked Acrimony, Tyler Perry. And it's gonna be in theaters. I didn't know if it was gonna be in theaters or not. I didn't know if it was a show. I didn't know what it was. She's like, it's a major motion picture gonna be in theaters. And I was at my friend's house, and it was like really late, really early in the morning. I'm sorry, really super early in the morning. And I was like, I started hyperventilating. Went in her room, started jumping on her bed. I was doing the most.
Yeah, panic attack.
Had a great panic attack. Yeah, so it was just really exciting because I was like, it just feels like surreal. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I'm sure that's like a dream come true for a lot of people.
It's such a dream come true, and like to be like my first thing be a movie was just. It was like, God is good. That's all I could say.
So when you're shooting a movie, like what all goes into the preparation? Like, of course you got to know your lines.
Of course,
do you read the entire script? Do you just read your part?
Yeah, I know. Definitely always read the entire script, even if it's a small part. If I get the role, I'm going to read the entire script for sure, even if I have like one line. But yeah, I think it really depends on like how big your role is, how you prepare for it. Definitely bigger roles is a lot more preparation, obviously. But for smaller roles, I think, I just like to see where I can shine, where I fit in. You know, I don't want to overshadow the lead or overshadow the story or do my own thing and just like.
You just want to do your role and do it the best that you can.
Exactly.
So did you have any what was your education in acting? Did you have like formal training? Did you go to school for it? Like how did you?
Yes. Okay. So much training. So much. Really? So many classes. So much training. I think. I have two teachers that I really want to shout out. One is Susan Batson in New York that I trained for about a year. That was the most amazing experience.
Shout out to you. Shout out to Susan Batson.
Shout out to Susan Batson. I just learned so much. I think she opened me up a lot emotionally before I went there. I was very closed off. Like I remember I had this audition where I had to like cry, and I literally was like like in the middle of the audition because I couldn't get any like authenticity, you know what I mean? So I think she taught me like how to be more authentic and just like really find those real raw emotions. You need to learn how to really cry. Yeah, like really. Now I can like cry on the spot. I can like cry right now. But definitely Susan Batson. I would recommend any actor go there. It's a very, very rigorous program, maybe like 15 hours a day type situation.
15 hours a day?
Yes. It was crazy. Very, very emotionally draining. But I want to shout out a teacher here that I really love. Well, there's two. Rob Mello, who teaches Meisner. My first acting coach here, and Victor Love. He's just amazing. He teaches the Chubbuck technique, and I've learned so much from him, and he's helped me book so many things. Like since I came back from New York to Atlanta, he's helped me just book a lot of things. Got another agent with him and things like that. So.
So with most things, it's not always what you know, it's who you know. So is it the same kind of philosophy with acting and being in Hollywood and all of that?
I would say definitely.
Okay.
It hasn't been that in my experience because I don't know anybody. But everything I've had to do is definitely just grind it out and try to just, audition and just try to do what I can, like what I know. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of nepotism and a lot of like who you know and people, and I don't see anything really wrong with it. If I get in where you fit in, if you know somebody and you're also talented, I mean, I don't feel like there's a huge deal. And someone, I would love for someone to be like, hey, I know you and you're dope. Let me, get in my project. So
I think Adam Sandler does it a lot.
Yeah, Will Ferrell does it a lot.
Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, they work together all the time.
Yeah, Will Ferrell, Adam McKay, they all work together. Yeah, people. I mean, that's how you're supposed to work. Work with your friends, work with people you know. Yeah.
Exactly. That's how it works in the real world.
Of course, yeah.
Corporate and everything.
Exactly.
So you've acted in, I'm sure, like you said, LA, right? New York and Atlanta. Like, what are the differences between those different industries? It's all the movie industry, entertainment industries, but how do you see the cultures change between those three?
I would say, like, New York is very prestigious in my opinion. Like people are very like, they take the art of acting, like it's not all about I want to be famous, film and TV. It's like I really want to be like an actor, even if it's like on a small play or like It's very, Broadway, very theater based in LA, which is, where acting started in the first place. I would say LA is really interesting because people are very serious about acting there too, but I think it's more like glitzy, glamour, like I want to be seen more than anything is really important. Gotcha. Atlanta, I love Atlanta out of all the three. I love all three places in different ways, but Atlanta is so dope because I feel like we still have like groundedness here.
Exactly.
And a community here that's not so superficial. And I love that about Atlanta, so, but it also like everything's coming here. I know people moving from LA here, and I met some great people out in LA too. I don't want to say everyone's superficial. I've met so many. I'm just saying the culture.
Not all of y'all.
Yeah, not all y'all. Some of y'all are alright, but I have like great friends out there and stuff. But yeah, I love Atlanta just because it might be because it's also home, but it's just very grounded. You get the best of both worlds. Like, you can do amazing, awesome things with great Black people here, and like get things done. People are very community here, and it's not really about like status as much, I would say.
Gotcha. So you mentioned being on Acrimony, which was a major motion picture featuring Taraji, Henson, and some other people. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, right. No, the main star. Right. Yeah, it's Taraji, who is an amazing actress. Yeah.
Right. So what did you learn on that set? Like just going through that entire process, seeing it from start to finish. Like, what were the major lessons you walked away with?
Tyler Perry shoots very quickly. That I wouldn't say that I was like super prepared for that. Now that I look back on it, I was like, oh dang, I wish I was more aware of certain things. But it did teach me to like just always be ready. You do all of your preparation beforehand. And this might be obvious to actors, but to me back then it was like, oh, I'm gonna have time. He's gonna let me do like 8 to 8 takes or something like that. But it was really like 2. Wow. And he shot the whole movie in 7 days. So Taraji, really? Yes. So I learned, and all of us were like on set like the whole time, even if he didn't use us, just in case he needed us. And Taraji works so like effortlessly and confidently, and she's so, I mean, she had to do a lot in 7 days. I mean, she was the lead and had to do so much, but she was just so professional.
She was a real professional. Like that's her craft.
Like, like she could just do things. Right. Like, like she didn't need 8 takes. Like she needed like 1. And she's like, okay, what's next? Yeah. So I just learned to just, that particular experience was just to like be as prepared as possible. Like you don't want to get on set and have someone trying to like tell you what to do or try to take more takes than they need, especially if you're like a smaller.
So he's not holding your hand through the whole process.
Definitely not. No. No. He's a very nice guy, but definitely not holding your hand at all. Yeah.
So when you see what Tyler Perry has built, and it seems like a short amount of time, but we know that it takes 10 years to be an overnight success.
For real. And he's definitely that.
It wasn't an accident.
No.
What he has accomplished. So when you see what all he's done, he has the studios, they shoot, I'm sure, 365 days a year.
Right, that's what it seems like, yeah.
So when you see that infrastructure that he's built, what kind of things do you see are like possible for you? Like, really,
I mean, not to sound cliche, but like really if you just like want to do something, you just do it. Like rather than, I feel like a lot of people talk about things like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, but they don't really connect it as like a reality. I feel like Tyler Perry was like, yeah, I'm gonna build one of the biggest studios ever, and I'm gonna like take my little tiny steps. And now he like did it instead of feeling overwhelmed. And I'm sure he felt overwhelmed. I don't know. Of course, I don't know, but yeah, just do what you want, and it's going to come to fruition if you keep that mindset and keep that tenacity. Exactly. It will happen. It'll happen for you. Like you just gotta do it. You just have to like literally like get up and do it. Take one little tiny step to like get there, and you can have the biggest whatever you want.
Exactly. That's there's this quote that I love. It says, 100% is going 10% 10 times. So it's just like, you do your 10%, you get close, and you got 90% to go.
I'm gonna keep that. 10%. That's a gem.
See? We got y'all. That's what we do.
That's what I'm saying. Because like little bit doesn't seem so overwhelming. Just like do one little thing. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
So when you, of course, being an actress, being in that industry, any entertainment, you have to prepare yourself for a lot of no's, and you kind of brought up that
like
that
all
aspect.
Of the no's, yeah, right. Like 1,000 million no's, yeah, yeah,
a million no's. So how do you keep the faith? Like how do you keep going in spite of being rejected so many times?
I really have struggled with that. I just want to be transparent. I have really struggled with keeping the faith. It's a lot of prayer, a lot of talking to God. There has been a lot of doubt in my mind, just because sometimes you like see other people who haven't been working as hard or as long or as you, and you feel like, well, maybe it's not for me because it's not happening so organically. But I always tell myself and other people, like, listen to the small voice, because there's always like a small voice inside of you. Like, even if everything is not going your way, there's always small voices like, okay, keep going. God is like, even if it's small little, like, nah, actually I have something for you. Don't like fret about any of this, like. And I feel like sometimes the doubt and the negativity is so much louder than like positivity sometimes, depending on who you are. I know for me, I've had to really come out of certain times in my life, whether it was depression, anxiety, like come out of that and say, no, listen to that small positive voice. Make that larger, make that bigger. And that's God, telling you, like,
you're on the right path.
You're on the right path. I have something for you. Just relax.
Yeah, the biggest thing is always like just avoiding catastrophic thinking. Like, the smallest, hindrances and the smallest obstacles are not always a death sentence.
No, seriously.
Like, sometimes you just it's an obstacle. You just hop over it and keep going.
Going on the other side is going to be something great. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because I think like when bad things happen, like it seems so big. It seems like, I'll never get to where I want to be, when really, like, to God and like to the world, it's like really small incident.
Exactly. And it's like the thing that really put that in perspective with me was like, even in high school, you got like a high school sweetheart, and at the time you think it's like just the end of the world. It's like,
I know.
Oh, we broke up.
Oh my gosh, like I'll never find love ever again. Yeah.
And then you look back and it's like,
man, I had like 38 loves ever since.
Right. Exactly. But this avoiding that catastrophic thinking and thinking that it's the end of the world if you don't get this or you don't get that.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's something else.
Always something else.
It's projects being shot literally 24/7.
All the time. I mean, like, you think about how many projects there's out, like, on TV.
Exactly.
It's so much content out. It's almost like...
It's crazy.
Like, there's...
Like Tubi. They got Tubi out here.
I know. Like, they have, like, literally 50 streaming platforms that are just, like, out now. So, you're always going to... Acting has become, I think, more normalized. And I think it's possible for a lot of people now.
So, what is your favorite part of being an actress or being an actor? Like, what do you like going over the lines? Do you like showing up the set, the hair, the makeup?
That's fun. That's also fun. I love that. I was a double, just like a little side thing. I was a double for Christina Milian last year for like 3 months when she was pregnant. And so I did all of her scenes like as her, but I was her double. So she, cause like she wasn't pregnant in the show. So like I was her. Which was an amazing. Christina Milian's like as beautiful and effervescent as you would think she would be. So
Shout
sweet,
out to Christina Milian.
So sweet, and so just she's amazing. I could talk all day about her, but I was gonna say on that particular show, she was so like glitz and glamour. Her character was so like dressed in like $10,000 outfits and stuff. So every day I had 2 hours of hair and makeup every day, and the outfits were like so like top-notch, high fashion outfits. It was so much fun for me. Yeah, but that's not my favorite part. But it was just but I played dress up like every day. It was so much fun. But really, my favorite part is actually just performing for people and people feeling something. And honestly, when I'm performing for someone or for something, it doesn't matter if it's small, large, whatever. I just like forget about everything in my life, and it feels like I'm kind of like coasting, floating, really present. I don't think I feel as present in my life. I'm always like thinking, overthinking, worried about the next thing. Like an escape. And like when I act, I like just think about the moment. That's it. And I feel like that's my favorite part about it.
So you kind of feel yourself reaching like a flow state. Like you just here in the moment and nothing else matters at the time.
Exactly. A flow state. Exactly.
Flow state. Look that up.
Flow state.
Google that. But that's dope. That's dope. I know that I don't know if I could do it.
I think you could.
You think I could?
I think you could.
It seemed like it would be hard having to remember all the lines and all that.
I know, that is kind of hard. I think it really depends on your memory, because some people I've seen can memorize, like a project I literally just finished, the lead had so many lines. I mean, it was like ridiculous.
A lot of lines.
Like a lot of lines. And she remembered them, like, even like our first rehearsal, she had all the lines memorized. And it was like paragraphs, pages of lines. Great actress. But me, on the other hand, I
time, right?
need a lot of time, a lot of practice.
Yeah, that's what I would need. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
and you get better as you practice, like learning lines. But I think when I actually get to set, like, I have to have the lines down in order for me to like really flow how I want. I cannot be thinking about the lines.
Gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha. But it really depends on your memory. Yeah.
So you say you have an agent, right? Does the agent help you kind of look for roles to audition for? Do you do some of that on your own? Or?
Yeah, I do it on my own, and my agent gets me. I would say she gets me the majority and like the bigger stuff, like the movies and the TV shows and stuff. It's hard to, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's hard to, without an agent, to get casting directors to even want to see you.
Right.
They take you more seriously, obviously, with an agent.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Gotcha. It's kind of like a gateway into the industry.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. It's like you're valid because you have somebody who wants to represent you. Yeah.
So what are your favorite? Like, who are some of your favorite actors, actresses growing up? Like, when you look back on all the movies, the thousands of movies and TV shows that you've seen, like, who are some of your favorites? Maybe just like 2 or 3.
Okay. Man, I mean, outside of the greats, like outside of like Denzel Washington, Viola Davis, obviously those would be,
for sure.
That would be for sure. But even outside of that, I really like, I like Kerry Washington, and I love Sarah Paulson. I don't know if anybody knows like American Horror Story, and yeah. Like I really love Sarah Paulson. Is just because she's so emotionally available, like so much, and I always like admire that because it seems like every single scene, it's like she can just like open up. I think I really like her. Obviously, Viola Davis, and I mean there's just like a ton of people that I really love, just in smaller shows that I've seen. Sydney Sweeney, she's really new. She's on Euphoria. I think she's a really great actress, and it's just like I admire like. Obviously the big people, I want to always shout them out. But there's like smaller actresses that I always just admire because it seems like they just like want it so bad. Right. They're like really like, and they just like really, I just, so yeah.
Some of the best people, like even, it works that way in music. Like some of the best people, they don't get the biggest looks all the time.
No, they don't.
And I'm glad that it's a lot, like you said, it's a lot of content out right now. Yes. It's a lot of different ways that people can push their own stuff out.
And that's that's the really great thing. So, and even that question, like, who's my favorite? There's been like actors who don't even have agents, who don't even like really book, big things that I would personally say are my favorite actors. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've seen so many, like even the project I just worked on. The lady who plays my mom, her name is Tasha. I mean, she's just, I haven't seen her in anything, but she's just, I look up to her.
She's good.
Yeah, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. But she's just so confident, so good, and she's so believable. And just because she's not, like on a bunch of things, that doesn't mean that you can't learn or take away. Yeah, like I've seen so many amazing actors that are not on like a major platform.
What were some of your favorite movies coming up? Because I'm a movie buff. Like I love movies. Like I love going to the movies. I love watching movies.
Yeah.
I just love movies. So what are some of your favorites, just from somebody in the
industry? I love, growing up versus now, growing up I liked a lot of like Disney. Things are like not like that seriously had to do with acting, like Annie and like The Lion King. But
of course.
As I got older, I love Mean Girls, and I know that's like
Mean Girls, classic.
It's a classic. But I just love the acting's really good. I know it's like a comedy and it's like not that serious of a movie, but the acting's actually really good and so many quotable lines. But I love Training Day.
Training Day, fire.
I mean, Denzel's.
Yeah.
I mean,
great.
I mean that.
Did he win an Oscar?
Yeah.
He did? Okay,
yeah.
And he better have.
Right. Because, exactly. Wolf of Wall Street, I love that movie. Leonardo DiCaprio. That is such a... Margot Robbie. I forgot to mention her. She's one of my favorite actresses. She's different.
But it's so crazy how these people she's from Australia, right?
Yeah.
How do they change their accents like that? Like the dude from Snowfall, what's his name?
I know. Damson?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think he's from like London or something.
I know. I don't know.
I couldn't
I don't know. And they be sounding like so American.
Right.
And like not even just like American, they're like a niche American.
Right.
Like a hood guy
right,
or like a girl from like I know Margot Robbie does like from New York and like from just different things that she can do. Yeah.
Dang, what's her name? Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn, exactly.
She sounds like she's from like New York or something.
Right. I'm like, I don't know. I know they have like dialect coaches, but still, even with a dialect coach, I feel like nailing an American accent is not easy. It's just like anything you try to, like any accent you try to do. Like if I tried to do
a Jamaican accent, mine.
Right.
Sounds terrible.
Horrible. That's like the worst accent.
No,
but literally that's how I sound too. Like I cannot do that for nothing. So yeah, it's amazing how they can do that.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, it's just like I guess it's like anything. The more time you put into it, the better you get at it. You know.
True. Yeah, and I think if you have like one-on-one with a dialect coach or accent coach, like I feel like you could get there. Like any of us could really get there if we wanted to. I like to believe that about myself.
So another quick question, even though it has nothing to do with nothing, I just thought of this question. But we talked about Oscar, you know, Denzel winning the Oscar and all of that. So I'm sorry to do this to you, but Will Smith just won. Will Smith just won an Oscar, and the same night he slapped Chris Rock in the face. What are your feelings on that?
I just watched that clip again like this week because it's just so funny.
Sorry, Chris Rock.
I'm sorry, Chris Rock, but I know. But the whole clip is just funny to me now.
It's like the reason why I want to ask you is because number one, you're in the industry.
Yeah.
So it's like you know how big that moment is. You know how important. You know how much gravity that
oh my gosh
award ceremony has.
Yeah.
But you're also a woman, so I'm sure you can understand the disrespect towards Jada, even though Chris Rock is a comedian.
Yeah, and it wasn't really to me that but you don't know how she feels. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what are your thoughts about that? Just off the top of your head. Like,
first of all, I would have never let Will Smith go up there. If I was Jada, I would not sit down. Like it's not that deep. Like because you're about to like. It's not only about the moment. Like things like we just talked about. Like it's like little small moments are not. You feel disrespected. Okay, just like let it go. It's not the end of the world. Okay, we go home. You win your Oscar. Everybody knows you for winning an Oscar. And the crazy thing is, they've complained so much about not winning an Oscar and Will being like not even nominated for Pursuit of Happiness and like I want to boycott the Oscars. So since they were so like anti-Oscars and then finally he gets there and then actually wins, gets nominated, and I just feel like that moment was supposed to be so much bigger than the slap. And like that's why I would have been like, it's okay, he can call me G.I. Jane.
Yeah, now you're known for the slap instead of winning the Oscar.
Yeah, like no one cares about anyone who won an Oscar last year, which is kind of sucks because that's a big thing for people. Everybody only thinks about, people still talk about the slap like to this day. I like literally just watched it like I just said.
Chris Rock just had he dropped a special.
I know, that was crazy. I know.
He kind of went in on
Will. He went in on Will and Jada. He went in.
Yeah.
But you could tell he was angry still.
Yeah.
You could definitely tell he was angry still. Yeah.
That's
very embarrassing.
Hell no, Will, man.
Well, I don't mean to laugh, but it was really just embarrassing and just, and you could tell Chris Rock, like, he just didn't see it coming at all. He's like, Richard, like his hands like behind his back and everything. I was like, you really don't know this man's about to hit you. Like,
they say, oh, wow.
Literally, it was crazy, yeah. But I felt bad. I felt bad for him, like when it happened. Especially afterwards, you can tell he was like, "Is somebody gonna help me? Like, is anybody gonna stop the show?" Like the show just kept, like he was just on stage after getting slapped. Like,
he was flustered.
He was like, so flustered.
It's like you can never like predict anything like that happening. It's just completely from left field. Like,
oh my gosh.
And I love Will Smith. Like Will Smith is like, damn, Will.
I know. Like you just had to.
But you know what else though? It's like Will has probably been hearing that shit for so long, like, you know, the Jada thing, the entanglement and all of that.
Which everybody says that's really what it was from.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like,
I mean, like, as a man, like, do you feel like...
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Now, Jada, I'm sorry. If I'm Will Smith...
I know, right?
I could be with anybody I want. You know what I'm saying?
No, for real, it could be.
But, you know, he's his wife. I get it, but it's just like, damn, Will.
Still, I just don't feel like, I feel like that bruises so many people in general, but, like, finding out your wife was, like...
Yeah. And then he's gay now. Like,
it's a mess. Like, it's all like a
all over the place. All over the place.
So,
can you talk about talk about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Talk about the game.
So you're on the new season of the game.
Yeah.
How's that experience been?
I want to say surreal. Well, because working with Wendy Raquel Robinson. Legend, and the game is a legendary show, and so I feel like to even be working with her was just, I never even like saw it in my path, but then when I got the audition, I was like, man, if I got to work out like opposite of her, man. Right. And
sky's the limit.
Man. And just like Taraji, just like any of these like amazing Black actresses that actually like said I want to do something and is doing it and is like made a name for themselves, I mean, that's always going to be just inspirational. And working with her, I was so nervous. It was so like, usually I'm really talkative, but for some reason I was so nervous. Like I like was just sitting there like so quiet. And it's not because like she made me nervous, just like I'm just kind of like, wow, I'm in the presence of someone I think is really, really great. But she is so like a big ball of energy, and she's so funny. Like she's hilarious. Like everybody like it's like she can't help but to be like funny and a like big energy. Like everything will be calm and quiet. She'll walk into a room, it's like you can already feel that. She's just a light. And I've learned a lot from her. She's so confident when she acts. She's so like interesting, and just she knows. Right. You know.
So that's good.
So that's been amazing. Yeah,
the game has been around for a long time. Like you said, it's a staple, and especially in the Black community.
Show.
Right. Yeah. So I'm proud of you just for even landing that.
I know.
Doing that.
I'm proud of myself. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sure the sky's the limit as always. When you're on these sets, are you networking in between takes? Like how does that whole work?
Usually, yeah. I was a little nervous on the game set for some reason, and normally I'm not even like that. I don't know what it was actually. I think I had taken some time off from acting for personal reasons, but and then like that was like my first gig back when I had so much time off, and I think that was just overwhelming. And it was actually my first audition that I even like auditioned for since like the time that I took off. So I was like, I felt like I wasn't necessarily ready, and so like to be jumped into that, I was like so. Usually I'm very talkative and very, networking in between. And like the Christina Milian, I networked a lot. I just did a project with somebody I met on set. Literally, the project I just did was somebody, well, he didn't like help me get it, but when I saw him, he was one of the casting directors. When I walked in, I was like, oh, I know you from that. So yeah, I always want to like make an impression and just like, just connect. Yeah, that's important. Yeah.
One other question is like, what are some of the others? Because it's billions, I'm sure, of people, billions of actors that go out for these roles that may never ever get a shot, but they still love the craft. They love being around the industry. So what are some of the other pathways that you can be in the industry but not necessarily have to be on camera, like screenwriters and stuff like that? Yeah,
definitely anything. I say like if you really love acting, like you just want to be around it. So I mean, even if it's like you said, screenwriting, I'm not working as much as I would like to be, and even if I was, I'm writing my own screenplay now. I have a partner. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
If you need a handsome young fella.
Yes, he'll be my first leading man. But yeah, I'm writing my own right now, and I have a partner that I'm working with too. And yeah, I just want to create. You can create, like that's the great like we talked about Tyler Perry. Like if you want to do something, and maybe it's not working out the way you think it should be working out, you can like literally take your 10% and create your own 10%, which is doing whatever write your own stuff and film your own stuff on your iPhone, or practice auditioning, or you can like do whatever. Acting's great because you don't have to like link up with a bunch of people. You can act by yourself.
Right, literally monologues.
And post it now. Social media, like do monologues. You can, if you can find a reader, you can post your stuff online now all the time. And people get TikTok. Yeah. People are acting on TikTok and like getting like discovered. Right. You know what I mean? Just acting with themselves, acting as both characters. You know what I mean? You can do whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a lesson with the what's her name, Keita Brunson.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just amazed. I'm sorry if I mentioned them. I'm sorry, but you know who you are.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm just like impressed.
So impressed by her.
Because I remember the skits that he got money and all of that. And
bro,
now she's doing Abbott Elementary, winning awards. And
no, seriously. It's wild. And that's like just a testament to just like that's what she wanted.
Yeah,
and she took every opportunity that, even if it was small, and like capitalized off that opportunity, capitalized off the next, you know. And now she's like winning Emmys. I think she just won an Emmy. I think, yeah.
She's winning something.
She's
winning.
Something.
She's just winning.
She's just winning, right?
She's just winning.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So this is the part where we're gonna have a little fun.
Okay.
So you are on the new season of The Game, which is a black sitcom.
Yeah, I would say sitcom. Yeah, I would say.
Okay. So the activity, I think I kind of hinted that we would be doing.
Yes.
It is a bracket. You familiar with brackets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like March Madness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Type of thing, right? So we are going to do a bracket of the best black sitcoms, excluding The Game because I don't want you to be biased.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And we're going to figure out, between the both of us, which one is the best black sitcom of all time.
All right.
And the disclaimer, I couldn't fit all of the best black sitcoms. It's only much paper.
I trust that you have the
right.
The
I got
best,
some of the best ones. All right.
There. Yes. Wait, how do I do this again?
Okay. All right.
Wait. So when I pick one. Oh no. Oh no.
Ooh, that was tough. This is hard, y'all. This is
very.
Okay.
Now I'm stressed.
No pressure at all.
I know, I'm like,
acting
like this is life or death.
Woo! All right. Round one, we got Cosby Show versus Living Single.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was hard already, for me.
Hard. See, the only reason, even though Cosby's a perv, like I had to
give that's how I felt, yeah.
I had to give it to Cosby because he's like one of the originators. Like he's an OG.
Oh, he's an OG. I know. That's why I picked it too. And I like the other characters also, like Felicia Rashad.
Right. Yeah.
And Lisa Bonet. Yeah, I love them.
She was
fine. Yes.
Fine. Shout out to Living Single. Living Single, you deserve to be there. You deserve to be
Definitely.
there. So we had A Different World versus Everybody Hates Chris.
Yes. That one actually was easy for me.
Really?
Yeah, because I liked Everybody Hates Chris, but A Different World is a classic to me,
it's
too.
a spinoff of Cosby.
Yeah.
Right, because I went with Everybody Hates Chris. The reason why is because A Different World was it just got too serious. Like when he interrupted the wedding.
You're actually right. Yeah, that's actually true. Everybody Hates Chris stayed a little
like
casual.
The dad, how cheap he was.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. I love that.
Funny.
But it's like a different world, you interrupting weddings and stuff like that.
True.
But I get it. I mean, it's like a love thing.
Yeah.
I can see why women would like that.
Yeah, I do. I like it.
All right, we have Martin versus Moesha.
Yeah, which was also hard for me, but I love Martin. That's going to always be my choice.
Yeah, Martin is definitely up there.
What'd you choose?
Yeah, I went with Martin.
Okay.
I went Martin. Shout out to Moesha. Shout out to Brandon.
Oh, yeah. I loved Moesha.
Yeah. Moesha, it dealt with some tough themes, but...
It did. That were needed.
Yeah, Martin was just more funny. He played
hilarious.
A lot of characters.
Yeah.
More memorable.
He's a genius, yeah.
Facts. Jamie Foxx versus My Wife and Kids. Okay, all right, we on the same page.
Oh, really? Yeah. I'm actually surprised
My Wife and Kids.
I love My Wife and Kids.
Me too. Yeah. That's one of my favorites. I always said, like, when I have kids, that's kind of
like, yeah, that's dad, you want to be, life you want. Yeah, that's like perfect little family to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Coming up with creative punishments and stuff like that. That's gonna be good. Right, so we got Fresh Prince versus Sister.
That one was crazy. Because usually I wouldn't feel like Fresh Prince wouldn't be compared to Sister. I mean, like it would be like Fresh Prince or like Martin or you know what I mean. Yeah. That was a good one because Sister was more like my speed, but Fresh Prince is more iconic.
Gotta go with the Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
All right, so we on the same page with Fresh Prince. So we got Family Matters versus In Living Color. You went with In Living Color?
Yeah, I love it.
Family Matters.
Yeah, I know. That's surprising.
I mean.
What'd you choose? A Family Matters?
No, I went with Living Color.
Oh, really? No, I'm surprised.
I went with it too, but Urkel, a lot of people, Stefan.
I know.
So I know a lot of people like Family Matters, so I'm always surprised when I see that one kind of lose. Kenan and Kel versus Steve Harvey. Okay, we was on the same page with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Kenan and Kel, that's just nostalgia.
I know. I mean, it is. It's nostalgia. I don't think I really even watched this Steve Harvey show that much, as I watch Kenan and Kel at least, or all these other shows.
Right. Yeah. I used to kill Kenan and Kel.
Oh my gosh.
It's on Paramount. I still be watching it.
It's on Paramount.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching that tonight.
Now, Wayans Brothers versus Bernie Mac.
I know.
You went with Uncle Bernie.
I know, and I think I don't know. I don't want to say this because I miss him. I like Bernie Mac also, as a comedian, and I think as a person. I don't know him, but
yeah, he seemed like he'd be cool.
Yeah, he seemed like super cool. Like he could be like my family member.
Yeah, like an uncle or something.
Yeah. What'd you choose?
I went with Wayans.
Yeah. I was this close. That's why I said, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have chose that one. I think
it's tough.
I know. I think I was being biased, like, because, you know.
Yeah. It's tough. Shout out to Bernie Mac, R.I.P. Okay, so you went with Bernie Mac. I went with Wayans Brothers, so we kind of differ on that one.
Okay.
All right, so we go back to round 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then we got, yours is Cosby versus Different World.
Mm-hmm.
I got Cosby versus Everybody Hates Chris.
Okay.
We both went with Cosby.
Cosby, okay.
Okay, all right. I mean, it's only fair because it's a spinoff.
Yeah.
Different World is a spinoff. All right, then we got Martin versus My Wife and Kids. Now, this one, I'm not going to lie. Like, whichever way you go, I'm not mad at.
Okay, yeah, I know, and I'm not mad at myself either. I'm gonna. Yeah.
You went with Martin.
I did. I went with Martin.
You went with Martin. I went with My Wife and Kids. I know y'all gonna
be mad.
Y'all gonna be mad at me. Y'all gonna be mad at me. But My Wife and Kids is just, that show is fire, though. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it probably resonates with you, like you know.
Yeah. Martin,
that's
like, I love Martin too.
Yeah,
I
love them both too. Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. You could go either way. You can go either way. All right, okay. So all right. So we got Fresh Prince versus In Living Color for both of us.
Okay.
Got to go with the Fresh Prince.
Got to go with Fresh Prince. Yeah.
Got to. Uncle Phil.
Got to. I mean, the whole just dynamic, the storylines, original. I love it.
First things first. Rest in peace, Uncle Phil.
I know.
For real, you the only father that I ever knew. I get my bitch pregnant, I'm gonna be a better you.
I know. I want to cry.
All right. So okay, we both went with Fresh Prince on that one. All right. Then we got Kenan and Kel. Mine was Kenan and Kel versus Wayans Brothers.
Yours was Kenan and Kel versus Bernie Mac. Yeah.
And you went with Bernie Mac.
I did. Did you go with Wayans?
Yep.
Okay.
I went with Wayans Brothers. Shout out to Kenan and Kel, but
definitely.
And you know what's funny? Who did you like? Who was more funny to you, Sean or Marlon? Because I feel like Sean was funnier.
You know what's crazy? I've always felt like Sean was funnier.
Yeah, he's just sarcastic.
He is. He's just a different. Like Marlon's just like goofy.
Right.
But Sean is like very like dry, sarcastic, funny, which is my speed.
I can't remember what happened in that episode, but he told Martin he looked like a gay. I mean, he told Marlon he looked like a gay Aladdin.
Oh my gosh.
He told Martin he looked like a gay Aladdin. Man, I was crying, man. Shut up,
not
stupid.
A gay Aladdin.
Oh man, that show was fun. Okay, but you went with I went with Wayans Brothers. You went with Bernie Mac. All right. So round 3. We're getting to the end.
Getting to the end.
So you got Cosby versus Martin.
Okay.
I got Cosby versus My Wife and Kids. You went with Martin.
Yes.
Any reason why Martin over Cosby?
I think Cosby Show. I think Martin's just funnier to me. Cosby Show was a little bit more serious. Yeah. I think they had like a lot of serious takes in it, which is not bad. I mean, of course, but Martin was just like more. I can enjoy myself more.
You're just gonna be laughing.
Yeah, I can like have Martin on. You know.
Right. Yeah. Facts. Okay. All right. I'm not mad at you.
What'd you choose?
I went with My Wife and Kids.
You love that show.
I do.
That's so sweet to me.
I do. I really do.
That's so sweet.
Damon Wayans is funny. Like,
no, he is.
He's funny.
He's funny.
He is. All right. Okay.
It's crazy that they're just like a powerhouse of a family.
Yeah. Facts. Because I was watching In the House and the sister was on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're just all over the place.
They're all over. Yeah, they are. Wow.
But sorry, Cosby. I had to go with My Wife and Kids.
Yeah.
Right? So you got Fresh Prince versus Bernie Mac. I got Fresh Prince versus Wayans Brothers. You went with, had to go with the Fresh Prince.
I have to go with Fresh Prince.
Had to go with the Fresh Prince. I went with Fresh Prince.
Okay.
All right, so championship round. I know. You got Martin versus Fresh Prince. I know. Which most black people will go with that.
Yeah.
You know, most people. But I got My Wife and Kids versus Fresh Prince.
Yeah. Did you choose My Wife and Kids?
I didn't.
Okay.
So we on the same page.
Okay.
We both went with Fresh Prince.
Okay.
Fresh Prince is the best black sitcom of all time. Y'all heard it here first.
Yes, it's the best
so we on
of
the
all
same
time.
page.
We're on the same page.
Okay,
I still think it's so sweet that she chose Wife and Kids for
yeah, I mean, it's just
that many rounds.
Just Katie, like when she was little, she was funny. And then
so cute.
Very
cute.
All right. So that's cool. We're on the same page. That's good. All right. So moving forward in your career, like, what do you see next for yourself? What you got coming up? What you got going on? What's your ultimate goal? Like when you sit back at the end of your career, what do you want to say you've accomplished?
Well, I do want to win an Oscar.
Okay, you heard it here first.
Yes, heard it here literally first. Mm-hmm. I think this is the first time I said it out loud on something. I gotta speak it, claim it.
Speaking into existence.
I feel like for Black women, it's tougher. We just had Angela Bassett lost, which was sad.
Fucked up.
Yeah, but that's definitely a goal of mine. That's something that I would love to accomplish. But outside of that, I just want to be a well-respected working actress. I want that to be my full-time job, and I want to be, just respected, admired for my craft, and that's really it. Okay. I've never been the type. I don't have to be like. I do want to win an Oscar, but I don't have to be like the biggest superstar in the world. You know what I mean? I just want to like be able to have the luxury and the blessing from God to just do something I like to do in my life. I love to do and make a living off of it, and
And then so many different ways you can go. You can do the Quinta.
The Quinta.
You can go that route. Do your own thing. You can.
Actually, I don't know if it's Quinta or Quinta. Yeah. So we're on this. It's okay. I don't know. Yeah. You're dope.
You can go that route. You can have a podcast. You can do.
Yeah, you can do anything you want to do. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, just before we get out of here, just let people know where they can find you and stuff like that.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram, Angelique Valentine, and IMDb also Angelique Valentine, and I have a website, AngeliqueLaurenValentine.com.
All right, and there you have it. Thank you so much for
coming.
Yes,
thank you for having me. I had so much fun.
Anytime you want to come up, anytime you got a new role or a new show you booked.
So I can be like a reoccurring on your show. I love that. So anytime, the next time something big come up.
Yeah, all right.
Be my first person.
When you're nominated for the Oscar.
You're gonna be
You gotta give us the Oscar speech.
I'm gonna say I only want tourists to interview me for my Oscar, and I'll do my speech.
There we go. Well, thank you so much for coming up. And we're going to be supporting everything you do, from here on out, all right?
I'm going to be supporting everything you do. Everything you do.
You're saying all the right things. And there we have it, y'all. That's a wrap.
Thank you.